Today we have been given an opportunity as a St Andrews College Reading and Watching Club to interview our head of sport, Mr. Andrews, about his passion for reading. Welcome, sir.
Thanks very much, Tom. Nice to be here.
Glad. So, what book are you currently reading, and what are your 3 favourite books that you've ever read?
Wow, big question. I've just finished the book I've handed in. It's Prisoner by Birth by Jeffrey Archer, and he's one of the authors that I really do enjoy. I read it very quickly. It's quite a big book, but when I get stuck into the book, I don't put it down. So it was a bit of a late night finish last night. Yeah. Top 3 books. There's a book called The Biography of Africa, which my brother lent me years back, and it covers the whole evolution of the continent of Africa. Starts off obviously with the paleontological ages and moves through until the modern day, and I find it incredibly interesting. It's sort of shaped a lot of my thoughts about Africa, and has also given me a deep love for the continent. So that's probably the biggest one for me, the sort of defining one. I think the Bible is probably the book for most people, certainly in our environment. So that has certainly shaped my life. I can't tell you that I read it every day, because I don't, but it's certainly a reference point for me.
So when and how would you say your passion for reading began?
I guess very young. I was brought up in a big family. We had six kids, and then a teacher's family. So you can imagine there were always books around. And I had elder brothers and sisters. So you inevitably pick up magazines initially, or comics. And back in the day, that sort of was very prevalent. We used to get, we were lucky enough to be able to subscribe to kids' comics. And every Friday I remember the excitement of going to the post box at the front gate to go and get our comics. And so it was always something that was around us. And then my mom, I guess, she had a routine of taking us to the library every Saturday at North End Library in Port Elizabeth. And that was just what we did. Every Saturday we went and got books, and we somehow would always finish the books by the next Saturday, and you sort of slowly progressed and worked out what you liked. And yeah, so that's probably where it all started. I always loved finding a space to just have quiet time and read somewhere. We grew up in the big space at St George's Prep. My dad was the headmaster there, so we lived on the big property, so there was lots of places to go and have some quiet time. I think it was just the environment, and then the opportunity to actually go to libraries and choose books that you wanted to read. But certainly I loved the comic stage and the magazine comic stage. It was always very exciting, even though it was mostly pictures. Yeah.
So, do you think that there is a problem that boys don't read as much as they used to, apart from their separate books?
Absolutely. I think that we're all very aware that there's so much other information out there these days, and it's available in different forms. So if we say read, I'm very happy that boys are reading off readers and so on, but I think there's very little of that happening at our sort of school. I think the initiatives where perhaps tutors or housemasters or teachers require that boys are reading, and I'm not talking about separate. Perhaps that they should always have a library book with them, that in prep, if you don't have anything else to do, the only option is to read. All of these things are, I think, positive influences to try and generate an interest in reading. I think one of the biggest problems, and I've had 2 sons through this school, and I can tell you that both of them didn't read a lot at school. And part of it was to do with them getting bored. So they would start a book, and as you know, most books, it takes a while to get into the plot and learn the characters. And I honestly felt that they got bored by chapter 2, because they didn't know what was going on and they didn't know the outcome, and so they put the book down. And I think there are ways around that, but it only really became in their adult years that they realised that reading was really interesting, and that there's a whole world out there that they hadn't tapped into. So yeah, I can tell you that most of those young adults in our lives do read quite a bit now. Quite a lot of it is on e-readers. They read when they commute now. I've got a son in London who gets on a bus or a train every day and he reads. And it's great because we can actually share stuff, and he recommends reads to me and I can do the same to him. But yeah, I think it's a reality that what I could observe at school now is that there are those boys who read, and then there's most of them don't read. And we've got to keep working at that. And really, I was just chatting to the headmaster of a school in a township in East London this morning. And there are so few resources available to his children. And we look at this wonderful library and all the other electronic access we have, and it's a real sadness that people aren't reading more. So I think it's something we've got to keep promoting, and the sort of positive spin that you guys put on it from the schoolboys side, I think is brilliant. And the more we can do that, the better.
So, do you prefer reading books or watching movies, and why?
There's a reality about my lifestyle. I'm not home a lot. So watching movies is something that we really seldom do. I've always been involved in sport and there's a lot of after-hours stuff, so it's absolutely reading books. So whenever I get a chance, and it's something that I can do on my own for my taste. Whereas, when you've got a family around you, the movies have got to be suited to the group. Even now, my sons are both out of the house, but Lynn and I do watch some stuff on television, but it's mostly stuff that we both enjoy. So I can tell you that very, very seldom do we sit down to a 2-hour movie. It's an admission on my part, but we watch a lot of talent shows. I'm fascinated by people who just come up with incredible talent. So I love watching, we love watching, the sort of Voice and Idols and, America's Got Talent, because I think it really does open one's eyes as to what's possible. So I can't tell you that I watch a lot of movies. It's literally a lie. I like movies, and when I do get to watch them, I get completely enthralled, and I'm sorry that they're finished. A bit like books, but I read much more than I do watch movies.
As head of sport, how do you think we could get children to be as passionate about reading as they are about sport?
Interesting question. I think the passion is something you can't instill in people. You've got to try. Well, you hope to instill it in, but it's not an innate thing. So my thoughts would be around perhaps polling with the boys to see what they would like to read if they had the choice, how they'd like to read it. Whilst this is a very modern library and there are obviously books here that the boys enjoy and want to take out, I'll be honest with you, I quite often take out books where I'll only see a staff member's name there, and that sort of tells me that perhaps that's not the right book for a library like this. I love it because there are lots of books here that I love reading. But somehow we've got to try and ignite an interest, and I was saying earlier that part of the problem is I think that boys don't read fast enough to get interested in a book. I had a time where I had access to, and I still have access to, what they call the Reader's Digest condensed version. And so they take 4 books and they put in a hardcover that looks like one book, the length of one book, but you actually get 4 stories in it. And my mother-in-law used to order these every month, and then she had this whole collection. And initially I used to page through and try and read the books or the stories I thought I'd be interested in. And then I realized that they'd been hand-picked and they were all great stories. So I've read all of them cover to cover. But I didn't know about that until I got into it. So where I'm going with it is maybe a shortened, or books that are not as voluminous and don't take months for these youngsters to read, would be more appropriate, or a section where there are lots of those sort of books. I was talking earlier about it, my interest perhaps starting reading little comics and magazines and stuff like that. And as much as they have lots of pictures, they also have text. And that's how I, as a little kid, got interested in reading. So I think it's just trying to find the triggers to allow people to realise that there's a whole world waiting for them, and that if they find the time, it's like anything. If you practice more, they'll get better at reading. They'll get faster at reading. The hunger for broader topics will grow. So I think it's trying to find that little spark, and I know that you guys and Ms. Jamison, obviously that's part of your challenge, is to find things that excite people. I mean, the extreme reading things is one of those initiatives to try and, I don't think either of those boys would have been doing what they were doing with a book if there wasn't a little competition. So perhaps we've got 2 boys reading that weren't reading. But that would be the only way that I can imagine to try and get more boys to read. And, once you're reading, I think then there's a world that opens up and you can choose what you like. And you follow your passions. And there are lots of people that only read a certain type of book. And that's their passion. It's great. People that have read every single word that's been written about football, let's say, for the last 150 years. And then there are other people who love other things. So I think it's just getting into that person's head and allowing the opportunity to find out for themselves how exciting it can be.
Thank you very much for taking some time out of your Friday afternoon, sir. It was a very interesting experience and I'm sure we all enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. Thanks very much.